Welcome to a Neb game. What you're seeing right here is a Solomon battleship. Solomon battleships are the ANS largest ship, and we are on Ario. Oyo? However you say it. Undergunned on the top, it's got a secondary battery up here, and it's got two secondary batteries on the right. This ship going to be weak to missiles, it looks like, but it looks like they've got a support ship from Eric P. Brigg. If they keep these three ships together, that's probably going to work pretty alright. They've got two little screeners and one big gun ship with some secondary guns on it. That's not a bad pick at all. We'll have to see how they play it. ANS, a more traditional battleship build. It's got its own point. Well, no, not at all. Not having point defense at all. They have committed more to missiles. Kit Kat probably going to fire first and hope that nothing fires back. It's a good strategy if you can get away from it from PMV arrow fire. We've got three battleships from ANS. The Zombie, 36th Zombie, from JZ909 with their cap ship, their ship that's going to cap points, cruising out here. And we've already got missiles coming out here. We've got the Amito Schwartz. All of the missiles and ships are going to be player designed in this game. So that's on both sides, both the ANS and the OSP side. A swarm of ships. We'll get to those later. We'll probably see a lot of those in the near future. These missiles, size 3 missiles, I think, all sliding in here and taking out finger licking good KFCs. The first advertisement of the game taken out right away. 11 herbs and spices. Their missiles coming out, and they're going to creep around the side here onto the D point. Mine containers going to come out to point E. And ANS has the high-tech stuff, like those two-stage missiles that we just saw, come around and murder that little ship. But OSP has the dirty tricks, and some of those are just cargo containers filled with mines that they're just going to deploy over here on point E, which adds a little bit of security on the point E that's going to be taken. A missile sliding in here, looks like. Gal Tootin from Secret Mink. Mink bringing two of these container ships, which can really fit a lot of firepower on them. The only issue is that, well, they're such big, clumsy ships that people normally put all the firepower on one side. There are some spin-to-win builds, and I've seen a couple of them work all right. All right, 11 herbs and spices, not quite having the range to get all the way to the D point, it looks like. The container's just petering out right there. Mine containers coming out from Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders bringing the mine containers. Full respect. One of the cap ships, one of the cap sprinters. This one a torpedo. Yep, torpedo sprinter. Sitting on A point. This game is a capture the flag map, so the players that get the most points are going to win. And it looks like ANS is taking the early lead, taking A, and OSP is giving up the early lead by not taking C. Mine containers sliding through. W is for Wake. Oh my, what is this madness? This is a missile I have not seen before. Passive wake, passive wake. Why do they have double wakes? Is one a validator? What does this do? I have never had this genius an idea. But I have full respect for this if this works. It'll only work for a moving ship if I am not mistaken. W is for wake. It looks like it's two active wake sensors. I don't understand. I'm sure I will. I think we've got one or two players that maybe knew. We don't know yet. Colonel Sanders bringing from Young Simos, bringing two little shuttles, and one of them is already out of commission. Original recipe taken out. Did you know Colonel Sanders got into a gunfight with his competitor in the 30s? They got into, supposedly, according to Wikipedia, they got into a gunfight over who got to paint a road sign I mean, truly, truth is stranger than fiction, unless it is actually fiction. Kit Kat going to take some fire from Husky Lord, who's got the 450s. The 450s have the punching power to penetrate that battleship armor. Cat running into quite a few guns over here. 6 guns, a rail gun, well, mass driver really. Mass drivers, sort of the opposite of rail guns. Just a ton of guns. 6 plus 8 guns. Battleship does not have fire superiority at all here, with only, you know, I believe 7 guns. No, 8 guns? 8 guns. It does have more armor than any of those ships over there, though. The E point, definitely fortified. A lot of ships just dropping mines all over the place. I don't think anybody has to worry about the E point being lost. The only issue is that if you don't take the C point, that single E point does not matter too much. So, OSP, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. With all these big guns, the game is off to a slow start. Dookie sliding in here. Dookie's going to slide up here and probably try and cap the C point. Mine containers coming out. Satsuki down here. Another little sprinter. Probably could slide up here onto E and eat most of the mines. Not sure that's worth it point-wise, though. Got to be completely honest, this game is not looking like it's going to be a super exciting game. Because it looks like ANS is just going to have the time to get a massive lead when it comes to their points. No, maybe they'll run into one of these minefields and it won't end so well for them. Husky Lord bringing the 250 Ocello and the 450 Abject Terror. Always alert, spotting as best it can. Tape Fingers, the 450 Ocello, and the 2 Mass Driver monitors. Mass Driver monitors with the plasma. I gotta say, I respect the short range Mass Driver. And then Secret Mink with 2 lesser or ships with smaller guns. You really do have to take C, guys. If you don't take C, you will be out of points. Exploratory missiles, these are hybrids, each one of these 15 points. So if we count these up, probably 15 points. They could go down to 11. They've got validators, probably more like 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 78 points coming out here. They get one of these little shuttles. It's probably worth it, but the shuttle does pay for at least half of itself, probably, if it can manage to kill these. And oh no, this little shuttle cannot get away, and it's gonna go down. It's 2 shuttles. The KFC shuttles are out of the game. 2 missiles, and oh no, Uduki sliding in here with the torpedoes, gonna get a whaling out here, gonna get a very big ship with all of this firepower. Uduki out of missiles, but what cost? Colonel Sanders does not have the point defense to deal with it. They do have one little tiny flat cannon trying its best, but it's not enough. And 2 of these container launchers are out. They're going to be able to repair them, but the time is lost. The ship is spotted. If more missiles come out or another sprinter shows up, having this little sprinter right here is extra stressful for a container liner player. I can tell you as a container liner player myself. Not having the C point is hurting me, guys. You guys can't play the entire game without your C point. I mean, they can, but they'll lose. Secret Mink, you don't have much to lose by just popping up here. You got these guys up here. They're telling you that not much is up here, so you should be able to, without much fear, hop on the C point. The Wake missiles coming out here from Secret Mink. Secret Mink, perhaps a new player. I'm not sure these double Wake missiles are that useful, but we'll have to see how they turn out. Maybe Secret Mink knows something I don't. Secret Mink knows. Oop! Here they go. In my experience, Wake missiles are best fired at a ship from almost directly behind it. Ooh, running out of range, though that looked a little promising. No, you can't do it a second time, my friend. They do it a second time. It's not going to work out. This guy, having used everything that they have, and having two defenders, is just going to try for it and see if they can win against the mines. This might be the closest to PvP we see this game. Mass Driver's coming out, attacking Kit Kat. Kit Kat out here. The only ship to have taken fire, I think, this game. That hasn't taken missile fire. Missile fire is a little bit different, though. I'm not sure I'd count it. 7th Zombie running into some mines already. 7th Zombie probably has plenty of PD. Yeah, look at that. 5 guns. Can train on any of those. Uduki. W is for Wake. Oh my gosh, they know. They know how to use the Wake missiles. They're coming in straight from behind. I don't think it... Ooh, the Mattock mine's being waylaid by... Was that an active sensor? Wake missiles... I mean, these are going to be some of the cheapest possible missiles. And I respect the decision. I respect the commitment here. This is an impressive pick. All those sprint missiles missing. And the Wake missiles hitting. Oh my gosh. A man after my... Yeah. What the heck is going on? All of those trigger to try and kill this little sprinter, but it does not matter. Somehow the sprinter is dead. I think that that's a crew death. That's rare. What is that? What the heck? Drives disabled, command normal, out, no weapons. Unable to capture the E point. The mines do not do the work. The Wake missiles do. That was almost worth it just to see. That was like a freak accident happening twice. I mean, you see it all eventually. Epic Lobe going to fire out here. OSP, not a ton of armor right here, so those secondary guns will do damage even to this little Ocello down here. Ocello is a old school, lore-wise at least, type of heavy cruiser. And as you can see, if we see a heavy cruiser, and we won't this game, but this guy is a little bit smaller than a normal heavy cruiser. It's also the only dedicated warship the OSP have. Everything else being, you know, a large trucker rig, essentially, of space. And those mass drivers coming in, taking out, doing some serious damage. Mass drivers do tons of damage, but they cannot kill components. So you need something else, like these 450 guns, to do the proper kills. And it looks like these AP shells are just going to smash in to the side of this battleship and not get through. It's going to take a while for this armor to degrade. Looks like 1 or 2 of these shells are getting through, though. Bonk. The drive is hit, and Abject Terror is going to have to reload, and that's the weakness of these OSP ships. They can fire a ton of firepower, a ton downrange real fast. They take a long time to reload, and we've got Plasma coming out. Plasma's going to do a real number on that armor. This is our first player that's really committing. I think Eric P. Brigg is a newer player, so a potential issue. A&S didn't actually need to fight anything at the moment. By fighting something, they're actually going to make OSP more confident, more likely to take a point. I mean, they could win here. It could do fine. Abject Terror taking tons of shells from all over the place. It looks like Kit Kat also getting in on the action. 2 battleships is nothing to sneeze at. That is a ton of firepower. Kit Kat's going to remove, or Abject Terror is going to remove one of the possible fire angles. I slip him behind this rock. And they're going to probably turn for Kit Kat. We've got missiles. Wake missiles coming out here. Again, man after my own heart. Knows how they work. Bringing them in from that funny rear angle. There is no engine on this ship, so these missiles go wide. But those Wake missiles probably cost a grand total of 1 to 2 points. It is a true commitment. These ships launching their 250. And it's all happening at once. 250 has trouble getting through battleship armor. I'm not sure what else hit them here. It might have been a missile. It looks like only gun shells. May have been mines. We've got more Matic mines on the E point, a key ingredient of the mine ship. The Matic mines put down here as a failsafe. We've got sprinters right here coming out here. Found the ship. They found Secret Mink's little missile launcher, and they've taken it out. How many more missiles were in here? 12 more. Epic Lobe getting some serious hits, but the point B has been taken. Moonqualm. I don't think Moonqualm's going to stand up too long against Eric right here. Epic Lobe. Epic Lobe really does have some reload speed. Good lord, how many ammo elevators are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I seeing any others? I'm not going to look too hard. The plasma's coming in, punching holes in that armor, so any shells that come out. Now the issue is that OSP just doesn't have a ton of firepower up here. In the face of, 9 guns, 6 guns doesn't feel too strong. And now those 2 mass drivers going to be a big deal. Abject Terror trying its best to get up here. These ships a little bit out of kilter here. Moonqualm rapidly deteriorating. Probably hoping that they just sit here and eventually this ship decides that it needs to switch targets, but it's a battleship and it looks like they will not switch targets. Mass drivers, excellent at long ranges, but short range they lack the firepower to really be impressive. C point still not taken. Gonna drive me frickin' batty. These sprinters poking around up here, they're gonna meet mines eventually. Zombie trying to take it slow. Zombie's probably gonna get the E point down here. I don't think anything can stop him. The mines there are, unless they run out of, if they've invested this much in point defense, they have plenty of slugs, and they still have over 10,000, so I think they're going to be fine. Yep. These mines not doing anything to stop the battleship. Mine's really only for stopping sprinters. Abject Terror getting the firepower on Epic Lobe. I think the HE is warranted, and it looks like stuff is starting to go down here. I don't know if they're using HE here or not. It looks like they are. They probably start with 500. So it's been a volley of HE. Rose Soul. A common name for ships. Speaking of Rose Soul, this is Green Nebula. I should recognize my favorite song, but it's Rose of Victory. Real gun battle here happening over E, but I think OSP, this is a Pyrrhic victory for them. I think they're going to claim it, and then one little sprinter's going to slide up here and take the point. This is a lot of points. This is 6,000 points from OSP that they're sinking on here. They might get 3,000 as a compensation for killing Epic Lobe. Epic Lobe definitely a cripple ship at the moment. Can't repair itself. That being said, there's 2 other little ships right here, and there is all of this firepower coming in from the other side. Where are these rockets coming from? What the heck? Herbs and spices. 11 herbs and spices. Pardon me. Containers being shipped. KFC making its appearance on the battlefield. Teuton. Now this is interesting. Two container liners have decided that they're going to take a long way around, and they're getting rid of some of these torpedoes. And torpedoes not taking them out proper. And they're going to get over here and they're going to suppress this battleship. This battleship does not necessarily want to tangle with those ships. They have a ton of firepower, though I think the battleship can do fine. Is there some other trick this ship has that I am unaware of? I don't think so. I think that they only have some really impressive 250s. Here they go, unloading on the battleship. The battleship should have plenty of armor on this side, so it's going to take probably quite a few rounds before they get through. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Rose Soul has been roasted by reactor bloom. We've missed it, but one of these ships has blown 2 smithereens, wiping the armor off of these ships almost entirely. I don't think that they need to keep firing at this ship. This ship does have, I guess, 6 guns still functional, if they have ammo. Well, it's not coming back up. The ammo's not, yeah, a battle dressing station. Probably very important in your campaign games, but when was the last time you played one of those, huh? Certainly not since it came out. You had to make it yourself, which means you had to download the Unity yourself, which means you had to run the Unity software, which means you have to make an account, which means you have to open up this game in Unity, which means you have to mod it and deal with all of whatever administrative stuff you need to get the game to work, because it's been encrypted by Unity. We've got some interesting little missiles creeping out over here. That being said, you can. There are guides on how to mod this game. And some things are easy enough to mod, you can just go into the files and do it, like the names of the ships. ANS, apparently, or OSP, really dropping the ball here, not taking a C point, in my personal opinion. Borzoi 12, and the little spotter ship has taken some serious hits. Reactor is out, which means that that radar is probably not coming back up unless they restore it, but they do have 2 restores, so it might happen. Adaptive radar receivers might go away, which means they'll be susceptible to jamming. Hiding behind cover here to make sure Epic Globe cannot get away. Epic Globe, however, can run well, they could if they could repair a magazine. Where is your magazine, sir? Bulk magazine. That'll get you. If it's not reinforced, it tends to die. The double CICs. A lot of people like the double CICs. When the magazine's out, the ship doesn't run. Rose Soul. Kit Kat up here, dropping the missiles. Anvil 5. These are just some torpedoes. Gonna finish these ships off. Qualm. I still can't believe C has not been taken. This game has definitely been an interesting one. Zombie taking their sweet time moving. I guess they don't need to take the point, but by sitting here, they just tie down an entire fleet. The entire fleet just waiting for that battleship to do something. Come on, Colonel Sanders, take the C point. I know you want to. I know you can. Come on. Always alert. Should be taking the A point. Oh my goodness. This is why you got to bring a sprinter fleet every game, no matter what. If you don't bring a sprinter fleet, you aren't prepared to win. Because the game is not about kills. The game is about points. That being said, I think ANS is solidly ahead on the kills front. Epic Globe taking one for the team, getting it started, getting OSP to commit to something, and I think that OSP committed to way more than they should have here. Anvil 5, always alert, trying to get away, but it's not going to happen. Husky Lord does have the majority of the firepower over here. I think that at this point they might be wasting a little bit of ammo shooting at this ship. They can't know, but the ship can't really repair itself into a functional state. They just see a battleship moving, and perhaps they recognize that it's not firing. V's gonna go at a dead ship. Wasted points. But how can they know? Kit Kat, the ship to watch out here. Zombie, also the ship to watch. Now, OSP doesn't know because all their ships are really large. But you can take all the points. The points are free. ANS doesn't want you to know this, but they have 706 points right now. That's only 300 to win. And they're taking point B. A has never been contested. D has never been contested. Zombie, I mean, just for the memes, looks like they're just gonna bathe down here in the glow of a failing reactor and take E. And that's gonna degrade their armor, which is gonna make it easier for these other ships to kill them. But I mean, by the time that this ship gets killed, it's not gonna matter. Colonel Sanders doing what the team should have done a decade ago and capturing C. Rocket containers coming out here. Rocket containers, not the best battleship killing weapons. But they do a little bit of damage. They stall the ship. The ship's engines will go down. That's at least satisfying. Kit Kat. Some fire superiority. Abject Terror has been through some stuff, and so it's having a little trouble rolling over and turning the guns the right way. Rook. More torpedoes coming out, just one torpedo at a time, minimizing the amount of ammo used to take these ships down completely. Tape Finger ZZZ is out. We've got more of these that we saw at the start of the game, these hybrid two-size missiles. They're coming out. Goon Rutan is going to probably take a lot of them. Those missiles weaving in very aggressively. Not taking them out. They're HE shaped. That's probably the best type of missile for this ship. Some people like the HCAP. HCAP does more damage, theoretically. But I think practically, HCAP normally flies out in one side of the ship and out the other side. Eclipse 4. Gal Rutan's not doing too hot. And just like that, it's Colonel Sanders against the world. And this happens when you're a container liner ship with mines. Your team will abandon you because they know that you have entered, you've taken your poo-poo on the game, and you accept the consequences. Young Simos, the last player in the game, I don't think they can win. If they run into any opposition, it's not going to happen. These auger sprint mines. Oh no, they're in the nook. They can't see anything. Oh, but some can, and here they come. Oh, and they are going to get jammed, it looks like. I think somebody has a jammer. No, I don't know what they're doing. Some of them hit, some of them don't. A couple of mines can do a lot of damage, as you can see. 2 reactors go down. Power goes out on this ship, almost certainly. Oh no. It's still up. The antenna is out. That can be a big deal sometimes. They've got a secondary antenna, so they know. Citadel CIC is still up. Magazine is still up. Secret Mink disconnects. Surrenders. But they've been dead for a bit. ANS cleaning up. Epic Lobe doing the team a service, even though at first that seemed like a rather questionable charge. Battleship has enough armor and health to take it and almost get away. OSP. Some crippling mistakes made early in the game, I think. Or mostly just not capturing C. That's a pretty big mistake. MVP of the game, probably Kit Kat. Kit Kat gets those early spots, figures out where everybody is. Mutsuki getting tons of damage from Min. I mean, really, this is an undue amount of damage for one tiny little ship. But looking at the inside of the ship, this is a ton of points contained on one little vulnerable ship. Lordy, lordy. That's impressive. I'm going to give the MVP to Kit Kat. Good work with the caps, Min. Min winning the game with those little shuttles that captured all the points. That's how you win the game, folks. That's just the unfortunate truth. Galmod Agile. Getting some of those hits with the wake. Honestly, impressive killing a sprinter that way. But, as cheap as these missiles may be, you may want another option. I have full respect for this. This is goofy to me. W is for wake. I mean, they knew how to use the wake missiles. You can use them just on nothing but the wake sensor. People normally don't, just because it's a little bit of extra work. It's a little bit hard. Colonel Sanders, unfortunately, not getting the serious work that they want out of their container liner, but doing enough damage. That's on the low side of what you should expect from a container liner. Husky Lord, I guess Abject Terror, the MVP of the OSP side of the game, because it managed to do some real damage to those battleships. It managed to cripple one of them, and to turn the N2, well, at least scratch one of them and cripple Epic Lobe. Zombie having quite an experience as they travel through the minefield. Pretty interesting game. Maybe a little bit of a landslide on the ANS side, but, you know, it happens. It happens. That's all, folks. Goodbye.